All right, it's Wednesday, May 3rd. This is a morning SPY update. We're about 2 hours into trading, and you can see here so far on the daily chart, we have an inside day developing. We really haven't broken out above the pre-market range, which is between these blue lines, either the high or the low. We have the context in play of number one. There's a big Fed announcement this afternoon, so in general, I'm kind of just sitting. I've made some trades this morning, and now I'm just going to sit out and watch what develops from that after that announcement. But in terms of just structure today, we discussed on the closing video yesterday how this is kind of a key inflection point. We're trying to hold in here. You can see a little buying came in at the end of yesterday. This is kind of the midpoint of the prior week. This is kind of a key support area. So we're still holding there to the upside, but until we really get above the midpoint of, yesterday's bar and start breaking out on a 2-up bar, we're not, and getting above this yellow line, which is the open of the week, then we're not really, on the upside quite yet. So what you have to do is kind of anticipate. You look at price action developing, that may anticipate a breakout to the upside, or it may, anticipate that we don't hold this support level and head down. And until we really see what develops, we don't know. But in terms of price action, this is very typical algorithmic price action that on a day like this where there's some uncertainty, you have a big news announcement. So what does the market do? On the very first bar, I just thought I'd highlight this. We're inside of that pre-market range, which is the blue lines. You get that green bar to start, and then you get the breakout on bar one. So when you get an inside kind of breakout on your first bar, you're always targeting those pre-market highs or lows, and then you watch and see, does that area kind of pause and continue, or does it pause and fail? Which obviously it failed in this case, and that's kind of what I just wanted to point out, is that you had the buy signal here on bar number two. You reached your target, but then you're watching it very closely here, and you're looking for a continuation or failure. And once you get the failure, you could just take gains right into here because that's your target. But if you don't scale out, then you kind of can break even once you see the failure take place. And then, quite frankly, once it came down here on bar number four, you can kind of sense that the red bars were going to take out the intraday low. And then at that point, you could even look and think that we're going to come to the pre-market lows to kind of test that end of the range, and it just did that. And now we're kind of this is kind of a key area. We're going to pause in here and continue lower, or is this going to be a choppy, higher high kind of thing, lower low, and we're just chopping around? And that's kind of what you expect. It's just an inside day, so you're really expecting the choppiness. You're not really looking for major follow through to the downside at the moment. There's no reason to feel that way given the inside bar, and you really weren't looking for continuation higher unless the market proved it wanted to hold above that pre-market high. So anyway, this is just choppiness before the Fed announcement, the way I see it. If you look at that big, down move yesterday, we're just kind of chopping in here. Now it's higher high. There's a little bit of a lower low. We'll see. And I think, we'll get much clearer indication of what happens this afternoon. So just thought I'd point that out. The opening trade today was to buy. Be very nimble if you couldn't follow through past the pre-market highs. Once you came down on bar three, I was pretty light. You could have even tried a trade if you wanted to be, aggressive to take out the pre-market lows and then have a target down to the intraday lows with a target down to the pre-market lows, and that unfolded as well. So kind of two targets were hit given the buy here, and to me there would be a sell right here, kind of expecting to take out that intraday low and work down there. So, but that's it, within an overall just choppy environment. So the big thing is going to be what happens this afternoon after the announcement and how the market reacts to either holding this key level here on the daily chart or possibly starting up above these, the intraday highs and getting a 2-up bar and getting that big overall uptrend in play, back in play towards some of those upper targets we have at the green line, and then the, even in the 430 area if the market really wants to react positively to the news. So we'll find out what happens this afternoon.